Well, good Tuesday morning and welcome aboard. It's the Real Monica Adams Show, brought to you by our friends at Invita Health and Wellness. On Mondays and Tuesdays, we're in the Invita Health and Wellness studios. And aren't they absolutely beautiful? The palm trees behind us, you're going to hear about them coming up tomorrow with Greg Wick. He's going to talk all things plants, talk about botany and horticulture and everything he's had to go through in order to be able to make sure that you know how to take care of your tropical plants. And yes, you can have tropical plants right here in St. Louis in this zone, even though you've probably been told, like I was all my life, that you couldn't do that. We're going to talk all about that tomorrow. Greg Wick with Florida Direct Palm Trees, so you do not want to miss that one. This morning, however, we're going to talk all things fashion, one of my absolute favorite topics. You know that. Any of you that have been following me in television and radio over the years, you know that that's one of my favorite things in life, fashion and fitness. And today, it's all about fashion. We're going to have the incredible women from the Vault Luxury Resale, Sue McCarthy. In fact, Sue has this book. I'm not sure if you've ever had a chance to read it, but it's Good, Better, Best. The rags to riches story of the upscale resale queen. And she is the queen of resale. She's also got her daughter in with us. We're going to talk with Diana McCarthy Ford, both of those ladies from the Luxury Resale. And in fact, we're going to take it even a step beyond that. We're going to do an incredible makeover show with them that we're going to record, and then we'll let you know when that's going to air. I've grabbed some of my clients that I personal train. We've got some other friends, and we're going to take them from where they are, walking around everyday life, and then show them their potential, the true hope that you can have of how you bring your best self out when it comes to fashion, and fashion, what it does for confidence. I love when people walk in a room the way they normally go around life, and then all of a sudden you put some beautiful clothes on them, you do their hair, you do their makeup, put some nice jewelry, get a really good handbag because accessories make the outfit, and then you watch them walk into the room and their shoulders are back and their chest high, and all of a sudden it brings confidence out just simply by showing them the possibility of how they can look. And it is that extra little effort of how you want to present yourself on a daily basis. My mom taught me that at a very, very young age. So we're going to talk about that today. I also want to thank you all right now. Some breaking news. I had a feeling it was going to happen once I went to sleep and woke up. It's kind of like Christmas morning. And I just posted to all of you. Here is what we did. Let me hold it loud and proud and see if I can get it. There we go. Do you see what that says? It says 20,000 followers. You did that. You did it. All of you that are watching, all of you that are sharing and following and liking these every day, Monday through Friday, our show. And then on Thursdays, again, the audio show that launches on all the audio podcast platforms. It's all because of you. When I left television back in January, I was at 14,000. That means all of you have continued to follow and then some. And we've added from 14 to 20,000 as of this morning. Actually, we're a little over 20,000. So thank you to all of you for the community support. And we are definitely just getting started. We couldn't do it without you, and we couldn't do it without incredible sponsors. One of those, of course, is our title sponsor. And let's hear from them right now at Invita Health and Wellness. Invita Health and Wellness, where you can feel your best both inside and out. Invita isn't your typical med spa. They're a multi-specialty medical spa and wellness center serving St. Louis and its surrounding areas. They have ketamine for mental health and pain, IV therapy, medical weight loss, and aesthetics treatments. As board-certified anesthesia providers, Invita can ensure that their advanced treatments are provided safely with minimal to no pain. So let Invita take care of you. Call 314-394-0950 to book an appointment or online invitahealthandwellness.com. Hi, it's Monica Adams, and I just want to say thank you so much for following along since we launched the Real Monica Adams Show back in March. But I wanted to let you know there's so much more that our team can do for you, from styling to emceeing to life coaching to personal training, motivational speaking all around the world. If you have a company, a corporation, a business that would like to book us, email me, info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com. Let's change lives together in person. info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com. Look, this is a real show, very raw, very authentic. I love it. I just want to give you the behind the scenes stuff. So my executive assistant, Michelle, and my engineer and director and videographer, George, they were all freaking out. She went early. I'm like, no, I wanted to have these ladies on a little bit longer, but it is a quick turnaround because we have them down in the conference room. We have our guests come in, and then it's this walk down the hall. And that's all the behind the scenes stuff that we don't get a chance to show you. That's the stuff we didn't talk about in television, but I will give you it all because this is the real show, the real Monica Adams show. I posted about 10, 15 minutes ago saying that we were going to have these beautiful women on. And you know, if you've known me, all my television, I know there's a handful of them that you would say, oh, I know you like fitness, Monica, and dancing. Yes, but you all know that I love fashion. I've been known for fashion for about 25 years, and these ladies have been known for even longer. The queen of resale. Let's bring her on. First of all, welcome in Sue McCarthy and her daughter. This is Diana McCarthy Ford. Thanks for coming in so early.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, we're thrilled and honored to be here with you.
Well, you know, I was looking at some comments of people saying, oh, I love those ladies, and I've been into the store. And one in particular, my mentor in television, Karen Foss.
Oh,
we love
Karen.
Karen just commented
She's
and
amazing.
said, her story, Monica, her memoir, you've got to read that. This is what we're
You tell
talking
Karen
about.
I'm coming to see her in Santa Fe.
In Santa Fe,
She
right?
invited me years ago, just casually, but trust me, I heard it and I'm coming.
All right, let's go. Let's have her paint a picture of us. Right. Karen Foss, if you don't know, long time, incredible. We're talking about the queen of resale. She's the queen of St. Louis TV.
Oh.
She was, to me,
Yeah.
St. Louis news. And so she, of course, retired. She's in New Mexico. But she was talking about this book. So this is Good, Better, Best, the rags to riches story of the upscale resale queen, Sue McCarthy. How long has this book been out?
3 years.
Well, actually, I retired. I thought it would be a good idea to retire at my age. And then I retired and I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And I thought, well, I'll just write a book. And so everybody wanted to know about the store. And so it's a lot about my childhood and how we came to be where we are today.
Well, and I'm so proud of you. I know Diana and I were talking, and I didn't know. I wish I had this book before we came on, because I always love to read the books before you came.
Well, it's
before
a
you come
quick
in.
read. You'll read it quickly.
I will. Kick
And you'll
back.
laugh and cry.
Those are the kind of stories. Well, I just recently had Tessa Greenspan, and we were talking about.
Oh, I love Tessa.
Yes, right.
Well, we have strong, phenomenal
Thank you.
women in St. Louis.
Just took the words out of my mouth.
Oh
Yes.
my God,
Yes.
Tessa is definitely one of them.
Well, and her story, which a lot of people didn't know, and we brought that out. But I want, for everybody that's been coming into their store, I want them to know your story. You were homeless?
When I was a child, I had a father that just thought that we moved like every 6 months. I went to like 24 schools in my life, and we just moved all the time. And we
find
didn't
work.
Yeah,
Because he didn't...
he just we didn't believe in charity. But if he heard that someone was making more money in New Orleans, he would just come home. And he came home one night and he goes, they're on the oil fields. They're making a lot of money in New Orleans. And he goes, I think we're going to go there. And that was that. And from that, we picked up the next morning, my two brothers and my sister and I, and we got in the car and we drove to New Orleans. You didn't call the school and say, oh, we're taking Susie and Randy out of school. You didn't call your parents and say, what do you think about us going? You didn't sell anything or pack. You just got up and left.
You didn't have anything.
And, we had our small, meager, whatever we had, but we just left it because we were always renting.
Yes.
And the only thing that we ever really took, we all had our little rollaway beds.
Time to go again.
We had a little roll mattress, and that was the only possession that we ever really had. But when I reflect on that now, that we have so many entanglements in our life today. I cannot imagine doing anything like that without consulting my family.
Sure, right.
But that was our life.
It was a different life then, right?
It was a different life.
Tell her about your rollaway beds when because you always went to different.
That was our mattress was the only thing, and you would have rollaway beds. The beds that did this.
Yep.
And my rollaway bed, it was a single bed, and it went down like that. But I never let all my bed down. I only let half of it down.
Why?
And this half I would decorate with pictures of, it was my vision board at 6 years old. I had no idea what I was doing, but I just pictured happy families and beautiful homes and all the pretty clothes. You know, all the things that I wanted I had on my vision board, and I laid here and just curled up on that side of the single thing. But all of those things came to pass. You know, it did. And my brothers and sister, they all laughed at me. You know, Susie doesn't even let her bed down. You know, but I safety
she
pinned.
had a vision.
Yeah, I safety pinned all these pictures, and then when I rolled my mattress up, you know, when I opened it the next day. But
Well,
anyway,
Oprah did not start the vision boards. This woman did right here. If you're just tuning in, by the way, let's go ahead and show the graphic of their book. We're talking about Sue McCarthy and the True Rags to Riches story. There you go. Good, better, best. And these are the women behind the Vault Luxury Resale. So before we get into how that ever started, did your mom or who introduced you? You said you had pictures on that half of the bed of pretty clothes. What drew you to pretty clothes?
Well, I mean, you know, we never bought new clothes.
Right.
Everything we got was from rummage sales. They didn't have garage sales. When I was a kid, they had rummage sales. And we were always the first in line at all the rummage sales. And my mother would take, I mean, she would have had a gold star, Olympic star in refurbishing things because she would clean them and iron them. And I mean, at one time, I remember we were in a park and she heated an iron on a fire. Wow. And then had to wipe the soot off so that she could iron our clothes so we went to school.
Innovative.
So, I mean, you know, she just made do with what she had. And we always looked as good or better than anybody at school. Nobody knew how poor we were. Sure. And really, like I always say, you know, we didn't even know we were poor because everybody around us was poor. You know, it's not like we hung out at the country club in the daytime and then went and slept in the park.
Sue, and then of course Sue, you know, a lot of times, my mom the same way. I watched my mom, who is just a beautiful woman on the outside, but she dressed, and she would always tell me, so you let me know if she did this with you. Okay, I don't care if you're just running up to the grocery store or where you're going. You have to look presentable. Yeah. You never know if you're going to run into your future boss or your future husband.
Oh my God.
She said the same thing?
She used to follow us with lipstick. You can't walk out without lipstick, which now I don't.
Yeah.
And earrings. I'd rather not have a shirt on than earrings sometimes because I feel naked.
That's what I was going to ask. What are the must for you? Would it be earrings
and lipstick?
Well, so I saw when I was looking at the bios on your page, you say always with a red lipstick.
Yes.
Has it always been red for you?
Yeah, it has.
Why do you think?
I don't know. I like that pop of color.
Yeah.
And then earrings.
Yes.
What about, so we always talk about accessories making the outfit.
Yes.
You agree with that?
Oh, absolutely.
That beautiful scarf you have on just brings this pop of color.
Exactly.
I'm cocktail ring. I don't have one on now because I'm not a morning person, but I am a cocktail ring
Here, do you want my ring?
I'm like,
It'll match your outfit.
We spa every year, the girls and I, at this stage in our life, we've earned it. We work really, really hard. So once a year, we always take a wonderful spa trip. So I said, let's just be casual. You know, we're just going to go. Don't bring a lot of luggage. It's only a 3-day spa trip, yada, yada, yada. So we get to the airport, and she walks in. She's got this huge ring on. And I go, Di, I thought we were just going to be casual. And she goes, well, we're not savages.
That's right. Doesn't matter. There's got to be something that makes people go, wow, that's gorgeous.
Yeah. Who are those girls?
Exactly. All right, let's reintroduce again. We're talking with Sue McCarthy and Diana McCarthy Ford. So the vision for the vault, where did it come from?
Well, the vision for the vault, I mean, you know, like I say, we always refurbished and bought rummage sales, and we always bought used. And I remember I ended up with, my nieces came to live with me as well as my daughters, and so I always went to the thrift stores. And then I was in a thrift store one time, and this woman said to me, well, there's this new thing called a consignment shop. And I was like, well, what is that? And so she told me about it, and I went, and it was called Clayton Resale. It was on Ladue Road. It was one of the original consignment shops in St. Louis. And I went over there and I walked in and I looked around and I thought, oh my God, this is for me, because it was high-end stuff.
Without the high-end price.
Without the high-end price. And I always appreciated quality, because although we didn't have any money, I always had the best. And so I looked around and I thought, you know what, I can do this and I can do it well, because it was dark and crowded and, you know, some of the things weren't perfect, but I talked to the woman and she was lovely. And I said, I really want to do this. She goes, come to work for me. And she goes, just if you want to, just learn whatever you want.
Like an apprenticeship.
Yeah.
And learn.
Yeah. And I go, well, that's so nice because I had another business. So I went to work for her and I learned what I did not want to do. And I worked for her for 3 days and she was kind of a slave to her suppliers. And so anyway, but she was so sweet and so kind. And so then I worked for her for 3 days and I opened my own store.
And it's beautiful. Well, and you opened how long ago?
35, 36. I say 40, but,
somewhere around
Where
there.
was that
around
location?
The what?
That was in South County.
Yes.
Yeah, it was on the corner of Graboy and
Mackenzie.
Yes. And that's when I first found you.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes.
And it was like 500
Yeah,
square
like
feet.
500 square feet, and then we went to 800, and then we went to 1,200.
Yeah.
So we
and then
have
women's
always
closet exchange.
Right. Yeah, and we've always expanded and expanded and expanded. So.
And they're doing it well. If you've never been in, what's the website, by the way? So people.
So 10 years ago, we moved to our dream store, the Vault Luxury Resale,
Yes.
and that is www.thevaultluxuryresale.com.
Okay, perfect. So be sure to go to that. We're going to look at some of the beautiful fashion that you have. And while we're looking at that, I want you to tell me, so how do you know, because I purposely did this.
Yeah.
And this is not real.
I know.
How do you know?
Well, I know that Louis Vuitton in their belts did not make that.
Yeah.
That color combo, and they did not, the logo isn't. It's beautiful, but it's not.
No, so I
authentic.
was at an event that I spoke at, and I was like, oh, you know what, I want to support some of these people. And I'm like,
Right.
that's cute. I go, that's not real. And they're like, yeah. And I said, it's not real,
No.
but I will buy it because it's cute.
Right.
But I think there's a lot of people, I mean, these things that we're looking at here,
Yep.
these are real. So
Oh.
how did you learn? Well, how do you have the eye to say, nope, that's not, or yes, we need
Sure.
this, or yes, I know one of the things on the website it says, which we have to tell you about, that you'll be able to buy things and then you can come in and you can bring stuff to them and they'll give you either cash or credit for the use in the
Yep.
store, right?
Yes.
But it's within the last 2 years.
Well,
right?
we say
Or-
the last 2 years.
Oh, 3 years or less.
three, okay,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah,
3
but
years
I
or
mean,
less.
some of our handbags are
Vintage
somewhat,
Chanel.
Yeah,
or,
we have some really
But for
incredible, rare vintage pieces. Chanel, handbags that are just. We have a Chanel bag in right now that is just so beautiful and so
No one on
rare.
the planet has
No
it,
one
and we
has
have
it.
it on lockdown
Yeah.
for an event that we're doing next month at Belmead Country Club in
Yeah.
Nashville.
Oh, yeah.
It's from the Paris Dallas collection
Sure, sure, sure.
runway
Yeah.
that Karl Lagerfeld did.
Wow.
And one of our wealthy clients bought one handbag from the entire collection.
Well, I love, Diana, you had mentioned, you were like, my mom's story is so incredible that she
Yeah.
went from everything we've just discussed
Yeah.
in her upbringing to now being in the greatest closets in Beverly Hills and Los Angeles.
I'm not kidding you. Sometimes you really do have to
Yeah.
pinch yourself because and even in Europe, we go to Europe.
Yes,
We've
Florence.
been, that's the book has, because the stories about the closets are just unbelievable.
you
And
were
the
saying
book-
kind of over the top in some of these?
Beyond.
Like what?
beyond.
Give us a story.
Well, we went in New York, and I can, we never kiss and tell about our clients, but
Sure.
we can tell this one because it was in our
Because it was
television
in our
show.
television show.
And it was Leela Rose's closet in New York.
She's a
and-
designer.
Yeah, she's phenomenal, and her closet had actually a runway in it. It was 2 stories, and people appeared and disappeared in the closet. We
Yeah.
were like, where did they come from? There was like secret doors.
There was. She said, well, that's a room, because we're all facing her closet.
Yeah,
I'm
and
in
the-
the entrance of her closet, and then I saw a man go by, and I was like, I saw somebody in your closet. And she
was.
said, well, there's a ballroom or a round room
Yeah.
off of the closet,
Yeah.
and we're
And what was in there?
they were having a meeting.
Yeah, it
A
was
meeting in the closet.
Yeah, unbelievable. One that we did in Chicago was, it really kind of set the stage for our high-end designer
It
stuff.
did.
That's in the book, and it's original one. And the guy called me and said, I've got all this beautiful stuff from my mother, and yada yada yada.
It
And
sounded like Psycho.
Yeah, it did, and I was like, well, I'm going. I went by myself.
This was
and I
20 years ago.
I drove up to Chicago, and I thought, he could be like
Yes.
crazy man, and so I left where I was, and I said, if I don't call you, and
Yeah.
we left all kinds of
find me.
breadcrumbs.
This is my address where
yeah,
exactly.
breadcrumbs along the way. But when we got there, it was like, I walked in, and this guy, he really did look like Norman Bates.
He did.
Oh, no.
But anyway, it was okay because I thought, if he's got good stuff, I'm going for it.
Right.
So we get in, and he opened this door, and it was like, the angels started to sing. It was magnificent stuff. And it was just all where he had changed these rooms his mother had changed these rooms into closets, and it was just the most beautiful stuff you've ever seen. And then he shut that door, and he goes, now we have another room. And he went to another room, and it was another room. At one point, I backed up in surprise because I couldn't believe it. And there was shelves of shoes behind me. And when I backed up, the shoes fell. I fell on the ground, and it was a sea of Manolo Blahnik's shoes, and I knew them, and I was like, oh my God, this is what heaven is.
I knew you were going to say it. I'm in heaven with
I'm
shoes.
in heaven with Manolo Blahnik's. And that was right when Sex in the City was really big. So anyway, that really set us on the
the designer path.
On
that
the designer
closet.
path.
20 years
that
ago.
Closet, yes.
That's about 20 years ago.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But then we had it. Yeah, and from then on we kept getting it.
We're going to talk about that. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to have more about these incredible stories. We're going to tell you where they are, and we're going to tell you about a makeover show that we're going to do. We're going to have some fun with the ladies. Don't go anywhere.
It's the icing on the cake.
The final brush stroke.
The finishing touches make all the difference in your home, too.
Have fun and get started at carolhouse.com/room planner.
With thousands of accessories in our 3.5-acre showrooms.
Get your picture perfect room and the lowest prices in the country at Carol House.
Because you like nice things.
Of course, it's great to get outside and enjoy the warm weather, but when it's time to relax indoors, be sure your home stays cool with equipment and service from my friends at Aldon. 24-hour emergency service available. At Aldon, it's their commitment to continue providing above and beyond HVAC service for all of their customers. They truly care about the air you breathe. Call them today at 314-567-5585 or on the web, aldon.com. That's al-don.com. 314-567-5585.
That's our vision.
And we know who's playing us.
Yeah.
You can mention
Welcome
that.
back. We're just having fun. We're doing a little coffee talk here, enjoying it with the ladies. If you're just tuning in, it's the Real Monica Adams Show, and we are talking about the Vault Luxury Resale, thevaultluxuryresale.com. You can go online. They actually launched that store, the online store, back in, 2020?
2020, when we were closed.
Yeah, right after COVID.
During COVID.
We went to the store every day. No, but we had to close the store for 3 months. First time in 35 years.
Yeah.
And we cried, and then we had a bottle of wine, and then we did pedicures.
Wine makes everything better, doesn't it?
Yeah, we did pedicures, and then we started playing with clothes, and I said, why aren't we filming this? We should be doing this. And so then we were like, yeah. So then people started watching us, and then we started selling things online.
Because we were doing...
concept.
Yeah, we were...
Right, exactly.
Well, we were doing live selling before, but only once a week.
Yes.
But we moved it to every day, and
People
then...
loved it.
I mean, we have this huge following,
Yes.
and then we started our online store, and as of yesterday, we are shipping to 18 states a day.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
A day.
And
And never even had an online store prior.
Right. See, and that's the thing. Everybody always, and this is what this show's all about. Everybody jumps to the negativity,
Sure.
focuses on
Yeah.
the negativity.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, from a business standpoint, it wasn't the
Pivot.
best time, but
But
you
you
have to
know-
figure out how to survive.
Yeah.
You have to look in retrospect. It was the best thing
It
that
was
ever
the
happened
best
to us.
thing that ever happened to us.
I mean, it really was.
Prior to that, the reason we didn't have an online store is just because we have a very big Instagram and Facebook following, and everything we put on Instagram sells.
Yeah.
Everything. So we're like, well, why would we pay a staff to photograph and do?
Yeah.
Well, now we know why. Because not only do we put something on Instagram and they buy it, they also go to our website
Right.
now and buy
Right.
10 other things.
Right.
Best thing ever.
Absolutely.
And our website is just spectacular. And
is.
I mean, nothing in the industry compares to what we
It
do.
doesn't.
Because as always, we have to be, I mean, that good, better, best, it's exactly who we are. I grew up with that. That was my father. My father said, good, better, best, never let it rest till the good's the better and the better's the best.
Yep.
And it really is ingrained in us. If you're going to do something, do it well, or don't do it at all.
Well, we talk a lot about, I don't know if you've ever read the book, The Four Agreements, but one of the agreements is always do your best. Right? But and people are like, well, but I don't always feel like it. And I said, right. So you may not feel like you did yesterday. Maybe you have a little fever today. But can you give your best that day's best?
Even
and tomorrow looks even better.
Right.
Correct. So we were talking at the break is where you're getting all of this and how how people are knowing about you for you all these years. Obviously, you grow and grow and grow. But how do you get? I think you were telling me in the email that you look through 1,000 things a day.
In store, we look at approximately 1,000 items a day, every day in store, and put about 200 to 400 on the store daily.
Yeah, we add 200 to 400 pieces every day in our store. Easily. So it's always a new store.
Right.
However, our television show, they did a television show about us in 2013, and that television show has given us international acclaim. They still show the television show currently right now in South America, in Amsterdam. I was flying and I flew through Amsterdam. I had a connection in Amsterdam after the show, long after it had aired. And my husband and I were walking through the airport, and I swear I'm a rock star in Amsterdam.
She is.
And people were like, oh, the Resale Queen! And I was like, I didn't understand it. And people were like, can I get you? They show it every day in Amsterdam.
Wow.
So, the show is...
because in 2020, there was no new things made.
Right.
And we were re-airing all over the world. And people would come in and say, I saw your show. And I'm like, recently?
Yeah. So for that reason, people have found us. And it does, people contact us from all over the country.
Right.
And it was a show that we were proud of. I said we're not mean girls. We're a good family that loves each other. We have disagreements, but but we still love each other. At the end of the day, I would never do anything to embarrass my family, my industry, or my city. Yeah, and so that was the only way I agreed to do this television show. Yeah. So it was 13 episodes that you could sit down with your 12-year-old daughter and you would say, that's the way women should behave.
Amen.
And I was so proud of that. So that's what the show...
And that was filmed at our old store.
Yeah.
Right.
And right after it aired, then we found the vault. So I want to tell all these people, oh my God, we're bigger, better, stronger now, 7,000 square feet.
Yeah, and the show was Resale Royalty.
Yeah.
Right.
So that, and it's on, you can see it anywhere. It's on Apple
Everything.
TV. It's
that's
on
what I was just going to
YouTube.
ask you. So we don't have to go to South America.
Oh, no. You can see it. Just go to
you'll find
Google it. Resale Royalty.
Resale Royalty, yes. I've seen it, and I haven't seen all 13 episodes, but how fun to introduce your young girls to, way... Well, here, let me ask you this, because when I said in the beginning that my mom, and she'd be proud of this, she's probably watching, she was the one that always said, I want you to look this way, I'm not going to force you to whatever, but let's introduce you. And then she said, Monica, you took it like higher and higher.
Right.
She would say that when I would go into a store, she swore, why do you find the most expensive thing? And I said, I have a good eye for taste. Good taste, exactly.
Taste, right.
So all those things, though, so I look back at the class of the 1920s, 1930s, 40s. I mean, that's why I do custom design work also on the side besides styling. Right. I love to say, if you want that, let's do it. Yeah. So the skirts with the kick pleats, I miss all of that.
Oh my God! And you take the best of each era.
Yes.
And why can't it be a personal style of your own? I totally agree.
I
exactly.
agree.
Yeah.
So who would you say that you model yourself after?
Well, of course, I'm Eileen Fisher. Because number one, the first thing I look for is comfort, and I have to be. I'm pretty tailored as well, and really I'm very simple. I'm not.
It's called quiet luxury now.
Yeah, it is.
Sounds sexier.
Quiet luxury, but I mean, this is me. I will take a all black outfit and throw a scarf on. My funeral picture. My husband and I are in on the canal in Venice on the Grand Canal, and we're standing, and I have a black dress on, and I happen to have this scarf tied exactly like this, and it's my funeral picture. It's the most beautiful thing.
She loves it. She tells us that constantly.
Yeah.
That's what
my
you wanted?
casket picture.
My husband says, I bought him a pair of shoes, and he goes, how much were these? Please put them on me and bury me in my casket, because they're too expensive to not. I'm like, okay.
But it's so simple just to have a few, kind of high-end accessories.
Yes.
Right.
And you don't even have to pay a lot for them if you shop at the Vault, but you can just have good accessories that you can take the simplest outfit, and then you're ready to go to any function.
So who do you model yourself after?
I'm a blazer person. So they all make fun of me at work because I'll pull things and I'll put it on and I'm like, I'm trying to be casual. And they're like, you're not casual. And then, yesterday I put on, it was kind of a sweatshirt, but it, fell like this. And I go, I'm casual. And Carrie, who's our buyer, goes, if you say you're casual, you're not casual.
It doesn't make you
can't be.
By the way, that right there, that jacket is
gorgeous.
stunning.
Yeah.
I was looking through the pictures that Michelle grabbed, and I
Yeah.
was like, that's me
Yeah.
all day.
Oh, yeah.
We have the
and you could
best
do it.
jackets and especially leather jackets right now. Oh,
Yeah, I mean, our product every day, and we're so full. We have off-site storage.
Yes.
And we're so full, and I go, that's it. We're not buying anymore. We're not buying anymore. And then the best thing you've ever seen walks in the door. And you're
You
like,
can't
well,
say no to that.
the lady came in yesterday and I said, we're done with dresses. We have so
Yeah.
many dresses.
Yeah.
We are a
And-
destination.
Yeah.
And when she came in, she said, I have all dresses. And I said, okay, bring them in. And she said, I actually have a gown room
Yeah,
in my house.
Yeah.
And I said, bring them in.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Bring
So
them
we-
in, sister, and I want your purses too.
Yeah, so we bought them.
So what kind of stories do you have people that will come in, and again, like I was saying before,
Yeah.
just when they swear, I swear that I bought this within the last few years. I swear this is real.
Well,
Oh, no.
Once again, we know we are experts on
Yes.
on authenticating things,
And we use a third-party AI
Yeah,
as well.
we use offsite. So our reputation depends on it.
So you don't get
someone's-
those people trying to pull the rules.
Oh no, very rarely,
They-
really.
Rarely, but they do come in, and I mean, there's A+ fakes, and then
Yeah.
there's C and D
Yeah.
fakes. We had a C and D fake yesterday, and she said her boyfriend gave it to her, and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So
He didn't like you very much.
Yeah.
No, we
So
just say-
we just say it's just not what we're able to use.
Yeah.
We just pass on.
Right.
it.
And I say
Unless
thank you so
pressed.
much for trying, but just not what we're going to be
Yeah.
able to buy.
Gotcha.
Unless they press us, and
Yeah.
what, you don't know what this is? Okay,
Yeah.
actually, it's not authentic.
Yes.
So
Yes.
So we guarantee
100%
authenticity,
authenticity.
100%. And if we don't, I want that woman to be comfortable knowing
Right.
that she
Yeah.
can buy that. Yeah.
exactly.
Where do you think people go wrong in fashion?
Fast fashion right now.
Yeah, well,
Instead
yeah.
of putting your money in, I mean, if you shop at the Vault, you can put your money in good labels and heritage pieces,
Yeah.
and that you'll have forever, rather than Shein or
Yeah, and you can pay fast fashion prices at the Vault
Exactly.
Luxury. Why would you get something that's going to be in a landfill?
Yeah.
I am so for the environment.
Yeah.
I pray for our environment every day. We have to make a difference.
Yeah.
At the Vault, we've stopped using plastic.
Yes.
I mean, we are
we are
trying so
committed
hard.
to being
and-
greener.
Yeah.
Yes.
And, our organization, that's something too. We have given over $1 million, more than $1 million, back to local charities in our community.
Yeah.
And, we're committed to giving back to the community that supports us.
Yes.
I mean, I'm sure there's no other small business in St. Louis that gives the amount that we give, and we do it because we choose to, because the more we give, literally, the more we make.
Right.
The
It's
more
true.
people support us, and we are blessed beyond anything we could have ever dreamed on my little vision board.
Right.
We are the best, and
Well-
we're just grateful.
I'm so glad that you did that all those years ago, and that you have, and again, this is the inspiration I'm looking for all of you to understand. When I have guests in the blue chair, it is for you to see yourself in those stories, and then see the possibilities. Diana and Sue, I do a lot of life coaching, and I've got a
Yeah.
couple young girls right now that were told by their parents that they're nothing, that
Oh,
they've been
no.
bullied,
I
that
can't
they're
even hear it.
worthless, they're
Yeah.
worthless in sports, they're not,
Yeah.
they're ugly, they're
Yeah.
not intelligent, and you look at that and you think the blessings we have of our mother
Of
and our
course.
father,
So
and
blessed.
it's trying to pay it forward to say,
Right.
you are beautiful,
Right.
you
Yes.
do have possibilities, you can be
Exactly.
anything you want to be in the
Exactly.
world,
Yes.
just believe in yourself, right?
Exactly, and that.
And sometimes it starts with a handbag. And I'm telling
Right.
you, we have a handbag initiative now where we donate gently used handbags back to Women in Transition was our first one that we
Yeah.
did, that were coming out of prison. The second one was homeless women.
Yeah.
And the third one, most recently, was women that are rehabilitated from sex trafficking. And all of their handbags that we give are packed with different things that they can put on their mirror every day, and different messaging depending on, who they are.
Yeah, we put $1 in every one for bus fare. We put, deodorant, some tampons. I mean,
the women in transition get a resume builder.
Oh, I love it.
So that is...
And that's all.
That's your way of paying it forward and giving
Yeah,
back.
that's one of our ways of giving back.
We're looking for our next recipient for that, because I've got a whole nother crop of handbags.
Yeah.
So again, the Vault Luxury Resale, you want to give them the address, we'll give them the phone number, all the information they need, and then we're going to talk about the fact that we're going to be doing this fun makeover show.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the vaultluxuryresale.com.
Yes.
What's your address?
2325 South Brentwood Boulevard. We're right across from Starbucks.
And again, do you have men's stuff there, or is it all women's?
No, all women's.
I think a guy had asked me, he's like, I want to have some stuff like that.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
we do carry very few men's accessories, like the Louis Vuitton belts or
duffel bags.
duffel bags, or some
wallets.
men's some men's wallets, and so we do carry a few things for men.
So there you go.
Accessories.
You pick those things up for the guys
Yeah.
instead of it all being for you.
Right.
But it's about us.
Yes.
It's about our luxury. So for those that have not been in, and now we're introducing them, they're going to come in.
Yeah.
They can come in and see what you have, but tell them again how it works if they are wanting to sell something to you.
Sure. 10 to 4 every day is our buying hours.
Okay.
Except Sunday, and you bring in gently used items, and we're all labels, so it's not necessarily just high-end labels, but labels.
Yeah, and sometimes
better department
it's-
stores and boutiques.
Yeah, sometimes you think, well, they wouldn't want this, but bring it in. Just
Right.
bring anything you want to get rid of, bring it in.
It's
then
very quick.
Yeah.
No appointment necessary,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
we pay on the spot, either in store credit or a check.
Yeah. And you walk away, and I say to people, what's that worth in your closet? It's worth nothing.
If you're not
and so
wearing
it doesn't have a value. And we pay top dollar. We pay more than most people for handbags, jewelry.
Yeah, handbags and
that's
jewelry
our number one. And we have David Yurman, Tiffany, John Hardy, beautiful.
Hermes.
Yeah, and we have some 18 karat gold and diamonds, and we are incredibly blessed with jewelry as well as fashion jewelry. We go to markets all over the world, just like any boutique, and we buy new just because we can, and we sell it cheaper than most boutiques.
Well, we're going to have fun with some of the ladies that I personal train. They've been coming in. I don't know what you put them in. I can't wait to see the before
Lovely.
and after.
Yes.
But that's really what we want to show people is you walk around in however you are.
Right.
And then there's this incredible possibility. And it's always looking at, I could look like that. I could be that.
Right.
But people used to ask me, I love how you dress your husband. Let me wear what he's wearing. And I said, no, you've got to find your own style.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Exactly.
don't you agree? Otherwise, they'll walk in the door, and if they
Absolutely.
don't feel like they're comfortable in it,
Right.
their confidence level's down.
Oh,
Right.
absolutely.
And one thing about the vault is we are sizes 0 to 22.
I
Yeah.
love that.
And that's huge because that's not everywhere.
No,
And
that's
people plus size have a harder time finding things.
Oh, yeah.
well, and some of the girls that I had come into
You had a size 18 come
yes.
in, and she's. We're gonna do 2 outfits per. We found 4 for her.
Oh, I
we
love
couldn't
it.
even. We couldn't decide, so I kept all 4.
Well, and they're excited, ladies, because they're in transition. The
Right.
lady you're
Yeah.
talking
Yes.
of is the one that's probably lost 73 pounds.
Yes,
already.
it
my
is.
God.
Yes. And I told her, I'm like, okay, this is why I think it's great to go there instead of paying an exorbitant amount of money.
Right. And you
in
know
about
you're on your
3
way.
months,
Right.
you're going to be down another 30 pounds. It's not going
Exactly.
to fit you. You have to get
Yeah.
it tailored.
Right.
Yes, I love
Yeah.
it. I love what these ladies do.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that makeover show, by the way, we are recording tomorrow. We're going to put it
Oh,
all
how
together.
fun.
I cannot wait for this, and then we'll let you know when that's going to air. But yeah, we're going to have some fun. I will be surprised because I don't know when anybody got put in, but I
all
can't
look
wait
fabulous.
to see. Yes,
But we
that's
do
what I've
have
heard.
stylists on site, so they're very good. And here's what I say to people: we don't have to try to sell things.
Right.
We are never ever going to try to talk somebody into something that they're
Right.
not comfortable in, because everything that we have flies. I mean,
Yeah.
we can't keep this. We're constantly restocking.
Well, that's what I
So-
love is that they could come in today and then they could go, oh, I want to go back there with some
Yeah.
friends, and then it'll be like, oh, well, that's not there, but
Yeah.
all these new things are
Right.
here.
Right.
The new store every week for sure, and we
Yeah.
have people that shop weekly.
Oh my gosh, yeah. We have our regulars.
We have so many regulars.
I love it. Ladies, again, it's the Vault Luxury Resale and the book. So if they want to get this book, Amazon?
Amazon has it, yeah.
Okay, so it's Good, Better, Best, the rags to riches story of the upscale resale queen, Sue McCarthy. There you go. So get the book, get into the Vault Luxury Resale, wait for this big fun show we're going to do, and we'll we'll let you know when we're going to air that. But again, I can't wait to do this makeover with you,
Oh,
ladies.
good.
Wonderful,
Us too.
wonderful.
Thank you so much. I'm going to.
I don't want to quit. I want to be here all day.
Stick with me. I'm actually going to talk about the man right there who was the very first guy I ever styled. This
fun.
is 28 years ago. I lost my father. So on this day, I wanted to pay a little homage to him.
Yeah.
September 12th, 1995. And then it kind of carried over to him, my
cute.
wonderful husband, who we are always very big into fashion. And it
Yes.
was all about presenting yourself the way you want to be taken. And,
Sure.
and people are always like, oh my gosh, you guys are always dressed up. And I said, but that's me.
Yeah.
I was taught that as a little
Yeah.
girl. I found my own style. I feel comfortable that way.
Right,
I
right.
love to be dressed up.
Yeah.
I love to go
Yes.
to events and he's in a tux and I'm in a gown. I mean, I MC a lot of events, but
Yeah.
people will show up at the airport and we're still see.
Oh,
so we go.
that's
it.
Same.
I hate it when they show up in their pajamas
Or
It's-
workout
I can't
pants.
stand it.
I
can't
agree.
stand
Thank
it.
you.
I always
you know
look
what?
good in the
Listen,
airport.
I always say when there's a problem, you think they're going to take care of the people in their pajamas or me with my beautiful Gucci scarf. Trust me, I'm going to be taken care of.
Get her.
No, I was a Merritt's travel director, so I went to all 7 continents.
Yeah.
And, that was how many years ago?
Yeah.
And we always had to look good.
Well,
That's what we were taught.
You should want to. That's the thing. When we could think of COVID. Let's do this a little bit longer.
Oh, yeah.
We can think of during COVID and people showed up on Zoom
Right.
and they were in pajamas or their hair was all disheveled
Yeah.
or they thought you didn't see me from here down, right?
Yeah, right.
Now, when I was at home for those 3 months broadcasting,
Yeah.
my husband was like, you literally have perfume on. And I
Right.
said, because it finishes the outfit.
It finishes.
Right.
And he's
love
like,
that.
you have jewelry and perfume
Yeah.
all the way down. I even was
Right.
wearing my heels running around
Right.
the house, and I was
Right.
like, okay, maybe I don't need to have the
Yeah.
heels on. The ladies can attest to this. I don't have flip flops on. I come in.
No,
Yes.
she's
but
stunning.
hang on. There you go. There's-
Absolutely
there-
stunning.
So because I think that is what makes you more productive.
Right.
Do you agree with that?
I
Yes,
totally agree.
absolutely.
Totally.
And then the people who go off to the airport, I understand you want to be comfortable, but you can look good.
Oh, yeah.
Comfortable,
You can
as you
look
just
good.
said, you like to be
Oh,
comfortable.
yeah. And never, ever, ever are you going to see me in a T-shirt, ever. I mean, I couldn't do it. People in my building, I come and go, and they always go, "Oh, you always look so nice."
See?
But it's just,
You're
I
not
don't
trying to
even
put
do
on a front.
makeup. I do eyebrows and lipstick, but I always, when you find me dead somewhere, make sure I have my earrings
Stop
on. And that it's so simple.
Yes.
It doesn't take a lot of work.
It
Right.
doesn't,
It
and
doesn't.
you should have that extra effort, and then people will go, "Oh wow,
Yeah.
right, yeah." I would go to the airport, and I would go, "Oh my god,
I
they
know.
look a hot mess. They have cat hair and
I
dog
know,
hair
I
all
can't
over
stand
them."
it. I can't stand it. I know. My
I'm
husband
not
says,
judging, but I'm just saying, put a little extra effort and watch how your life changes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's really all
That's
I
it.
think.
And when you
Exactly
look
right.
good, you feel good.
Well, I
And-
guess we go back to I remember, and I think Jim and I both feel that we grew up in the wrong era, and we're just trying to bring some of that era
Yeah.
forward.
Yes. Yeah.
But if you look at people who traveled decades ago,
right.
they were dressed to the nines.
oh
and
my
I just think
God.
it was beautiful.
It was.
"Oh my God,
I
yes.
want to bring the guys wearing the hats back and
Yes.
all tailored.
Yes. Oh
Thank
my
you.
God. that.
And my sister, who was stunning, she was first runner-up for Miss Missouri. She was beautiful. And we walked down Washington Avenue when Washington Avenue was a fashion
Yes.
hub in
Yes.
the United
Garment
States.
district,
yep. Yeah.
And we went into the fashion houses, and she had on the full skirt. This was in the 50s. And she was stunning, and that's the way we learned to dress.
Yes.
It was, and we had nothing.
Yes.
But it
Yeah.
didn't matter because we looked like we were very wealthy.
Right,
So.
Right.
Yeah.
I love it. Ladies, again, mothers, fathers, teach your kids this at an early age. We're not
Yeah.
saying they have to spend a ridiculous amount of money. It's just look proper.
Yes.
And present yourself, because people will take, you'll get jobs.
Oh
Yeah,
my God, yes.
Absolutely.
You will be taken more seriously. All
Yeah.
those things, the way you present yourself. Okay, thevaultluxuryresale.com. Check the ladies out. I'm going to look at some of your comments, and then I also want to thank you because we hit 20,000 followers as of this morning, and I thought it was kind of ironic because what brought me to all of this and to walk away from television was that man right there.
Yes.
My homage to him when we return.
Yeah.
Hi, it's Monica Adams, and I just want to say thank you so much for following along since we launched The Real Monica Adams Show back in March. But I wanted to let you know there's so much more that our team can do for you. From styling to emceeing to life coaching to personal training, motivational speaking all around the world. If you have a company, a corporation, a business that would like to book us, email me, info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com. Let's change lives together in person. Info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com. Weren't they a joy? Oh my gosh. Diana and Sue, thank you so much from the Vault Luxury Resale. And we've got Krista over there. Laura's over there. We're going to see them all tomorrow morning. I've got a very special show that we're going to be taping, a fun makeover show. I've always wanted to do these because every time I would see any of the afternoon shows, especially Oprah, they would do the makeover shows, and I was glued to it because it's so fun to see the way people walk around in life, the way they are. And I said, everybody said, how should I come? Should I? I said, don't look disheveled. Let's not be fake. Let's be real. Show however you normally are. I just want to see what you choose and then what these beautiful stylists choose for you. So we're going to be doing that, and then we'll package that all up and have a really fun makeover show that we'll be airing for you very soon. Let me see some of the comments that we've had from our wonderful viewers, and I just want to thank you all because, as I mentioned, we hit 20,000 plus. You put us over 20,000 followers as of this morning, and I thought that was very ironic because the man who led me to do this, to step away, is this man right here, my wonderful father, who I lost on September 12th of 1995. I love my daddy so much, and I miss him dearly. Whew, hold on a regular basis. I knew it. Okay, so that is I need the ladies who just left here to look at that couple because do they not just look incredible? My father was so very into fashion, very into how his hair was. My mom, everybody thought looked like Jackie Kennedy. She has that Jackie Kennedy look. Still to this day, looks as beautiful all these years later. And I regularly say how old my mom is because she allows me to, first of all. I'm not out of disrespect, but I say it because my mother is 85 years old and she is just like the Energizer Bunny. She's just absolutely incredible. But that's my mother and father, and that is who truly instilled class and kindness and generosity and paying it forward. I couldn't do it without them. Isn't he handsome? That's me probably, I don't even know. My mom would know. Maybe 2 years old. I don't know how old I was there, but here's a fun story when we talk about being real. Now, that's the future superstars, by the way. I posted some of these pictures last night. My dad was a big supporter of all of us, my brothers, my sister. We all played sports, and he was always there for every game. So those T-shirts we have on is for the future superstars. I ran track. So that's my dad in Australia. I have not caught a fish, by the way, since my dad and I went fishing, and maybe that's why. There you go. Always doing the dance. He's in I don't know if that's a suede suit or what, but my mom made him a lot of clothes. So that's the other thing. Sue's talking about not having a lot of money. We didn't. We weren't poor. I felt like we were the richest people in the world because my mom made the most beautiful clothes. She made that dress I was wearing. That was my first communion dress. And then I also wore that to somebody's wedding. They had me as their flower girl. But always dancing, always about fashion. There you go. My mom used to do my hair like that, to where she would have the French braid. And I had kids at grade school that I went to school with, and they called me Monty Mohawk. All right, there we go. The best dancers ever. My mom and dad were incredible swing and jitterbug and shag dancers. That's probably in his early 50s, I think, there at a wedding. But yeah. Where I got my love for fashion, where I got my love for dancing is from both of them. That is one of the last pictures that we have. My mom and dad went on a cruise, and I just think that is the most beautiful picture of him. So who do you think he looks like, by the way? I'm gonna ask all of you that are watching right now, and I will tell you. Look, can we pull that picture back up one more time? That picture is the one that everyone says that he looks like a particular actor. I'm gonna put my glasses on and read some of these comments. So I know who I always thought he looked like. This is who they say he looked like. But you tell me, who do you think, what actor do you think he looked like? And again, if you're younger, you might not know this particular actor, but let me know who you think he looks like. So my father had cancer. He had bladder cancer that metastasized, and it took him within less than a year. So I remember him coming to my house, and this is the reason I want to tell all of you to kind of slow down in life, be more present. I was living in a townhouse in Fenton in one of my beginning years in radio. So this is back in 95. I started in 93. I was down in Festus, and I would have to go to bed super early, like I still do, but even earlier back then. I would get up, and then I was at the station at 4. We went on at 5 a.m. And so you obviously have to get to bed early. Well, my dad had been out visiting some friends in the Arnold area, and he came by my house, and knocked on the door, and I remember him wanting to visit, and I was like, Dad, I got to go to bed early. I can't do this. And I wish all these years later, I just wish I would have said, it's okay. I don't need the sleep. Come on in. But, I didn't realize he had something to tell me. And shortly thereafter, he told me he had cancer. And it just hits you like a ton of bricks, right? I promised to talk today about the loss of a parent, the daddy-daughter feeling, the missing out of the daddy-daughter dance that everybody wants at their wedding. I didn't have that. In fact, my husband never had a chance to meet him. I would have loved that. Jim and I dated back in 2001, and I think about that, and I was like, oh, it's so close that you could have at least met him. I met Jim's mother just twice in life, and once when we had dated back in 2001, and then when we got back together, it was only a month later that we lost her. She had lung cancer, and I went up and saw her while she was in hospice, and it's just difficult, but it also makes you. I want you to tell your parents how much you love them. So this show today, as I wrap up, I want you to understand the precious moments. I want you to take the phone calls. I don't care how busy you think you are. I don't care how they want to go on and on and on and on and on, because they're not around anybody. My mother, I talk to on a daily basis. When I was at Channel 5, I used to call, or actually Channel 2 and Channel 5, I would try to call right about 9 o'clock every morning. Now, of course, my brothers would go, oh, great, you're setting the bar so high, Monica, now you're making us have to try to. And I said, you do you. This is what I want to do. I want to hear her voice. I want to spend time with her. I want to go. I was just recently saying I want to go on a mother-daughter trip, just the two of us. We need that because I want to be able to create those memories. Yes, my mother looks like she's only in her 60s and is running around and just crazy, incredibly youthful, but it's also the realization that she's 85. And I look at the fact that we just lost a dear friend. If you remember, we had Pat Byrne in the chair with his wonderful wife, Lisa, from Responder Rescue, and he just lost his mom. So that was one of my mom and dad's best friends. She and her husband were incredible shag dancers. She lived to be 91. I mean, what an incredible life, but still, it's the fact that we don't have their physical presence anymore, and we lose that. I don't want you to have regrets. We've done shows on regrets before. We've done shows about the loss of a parent, the loss of a spouse, the loss of a child, and we'll continue to do those because I want you to learn the lesson of if there's any kind of animosity, or there's any kind of stress in your relationships, find out what the root of the cause is and try to heal it, because I don't want you to lose someone and then have regrets. I don't. My father and I were super, super close. I'm going to take you back to the night before he died, though. So September 11th. And this was before 9/11 obviously happened, but September 11th and September 12th will never be my favorite days. 9/11. I was at Christian Northeast Hospital, which is where my father was. And there were so many people in that room. My dad was the life of the party. Everybody loved him. He told the funniest jokes, dry humor, but the funniest jokes. He was a guy's guy, and then the ladies all thought he was super handsome. Actually, oh, that's right. I got to see who you think he looks like. I'll tell you. Oh, there you go. Linda Eckert said it. Yes, Michael Landon. That's exactly who everyone thought he looked like. Little House on the Prairie. Now, and you can see other things in him, but definitely the Hollywood looks. Well, my dad at the end was, so emaciated because cancer just, it just takes the life out of him. So he was very, very thin, obviously had lost his hair. I remember him looking in the mirror one day at my mom and he both showed up in the mirror. And he stepped out, and I remember him saying, I don't even look like your husband, I look like your father. Like he was looking at it like, I look so much older than you, Jackie. And it broke my heart that he said that. I had to walk out of the room, and I was like, no, Dad, you're still super handsome. No matter what, you're so handsome. And he was just talking himself down, and he wanted so much. Like some people get the second chance. They're stricken with cancer, and then the advancements in medicine are amazing, and they get the second chance. I thought for sure that my dad was going to get that. So even though I was studying medicine, I was going to be a doctor, I was in my beginning years, but enough to know that when someone tells you on September 12th at 6 o'clock in the morning that his breathing is labored, that you probably would leave and head to the hospital. Nope. That spirit inside of me, the ultimate optimist, I thought, okay. And it's also sometimes why I have to get the check of not working and working and working and working and missing out on life. So I'm going to take you back to 9/11, and I'm going to take you to September 12th, and I'm going to give you the final message. September 11th, the hospital room was packed with friends because there were so many friends and family. And I just remember going to my mom and looking at my watch and going, I got to get going. Visiting hours were close to being up at 8 o'clock. I had a long drive back to Fenton, right at 141 and 21 is where I lived at the time. And I'm talking about coming up from the Spanish Lake area. My dad would be always so nervous, honey, you got to go. And I said, well, I want to be here from, whenever I'm able to get here all the way till they'll tell me I have to leave because visiting hours are over. I would do that day in and day out, and I was spending time with him. In fact, he was so excited, I told him I was getting ready to do color commentating for football. And I just wanted to sit with him and have him teach me the sport beyond just watching it on TV. I will never forget those moments of about my dad teaching me that, because it made me love the game even more, and it allowed me to break into sports as a woman and do color commentating for about a couple years in my beginning years of radio. And thank you for that, Dad, because I would have never been able to do that. But it was really the beginning of women getting into sports and us being taken real and being not just, oh, here she is, a laugh track of a girl in sports, or she's pretty so that's why she's in. No, she's actually got the knowledge and the brain for it. But that came from my dad. I did those in the weeks leading up to it. But that night, I had something I wanted to tell him. And I'm going to ask you to do this. Open your mouth, speak your truth, say whatever you want to say. If today I affect just one person to turn to their parents and say what they've always wanted to say, or they heal a relationship that maybe they haven't talked to their parents for a year, 5 years, 10 years, whatever it may be, heal it. I'm just going to tell you, it's not worth it any longer. Heal the relationship, because you only get one mom and you only get one dad. You might have steps, but that's your mother and father. And then you have siblings if you're blessed. My dad, I wanted to say that night how much I loved him, but I didn't want to tell anybody to leave the room. My mom told me to do so. I didn't. And my dad died the next day. I never got the chance to say, I love you. Thank you for everything you've done for me. Now, over the years, I've had people say, he knows that. I know, but it's the words, being able to be heard. The next day, my mom called me. I was at the radio station in Festus, and she called. I was just checking in to see how he was doing. She said his breathing was labored. And I knew what that meant in the medical terms, but not my dad. Right? That's the feeling you have as a daughter. Not my dad. My dad's going to be fine. He's going to get the second chance. They're wrong. And they weren't. So I went back on the air. And when I got off the air, I had a little bit of a break. And at 9 a.m., for any of you that know what the Trading Post is, I did the Trading Post. They used to do that at KMOX. I did it down at KJCF in Festus. And I was getting ready to go on to do that for another hour, right? And the phone call came in. And I was getting ready to go in the studio, and the sales staff was coming in to tell me, Monica, you got to wait. I got to tell you something. And I said, no. I have to go on. No, Monica, I think you should take this call. And I just kept saying, I've got to do my job. I've got to do my job. And then they came back and said, Monica, your dad's dead. Oh, those words. I'll never forget September 12th, 1995, just before 9 o'clock in the morning. That's the day I lost the first man I ever loved. So do you, Dad. Thank you for guiding me to this moment, because it was him who told me back in July, darling, I need you to be ready like you've never been ready in your life. And thank you to all of you. You've allowed us to hit 20,000 followers, and that is just a brushstroke of where we want to go. When I say that I want you to share and follow and like this wonderful show that we're doing, to give you hope, to teach you lessons, to bond relationships, and to show you the possibilities of what you can be in your life. That's what I want for you. That's my message to you. I'm not going to do 100 Days to Freedom, because I have the message today, and that is heal the wounds from the past. Understand your potential. Know that you have incredible possibilities out there. Listen to your parents. If you didn't have the best upbringing, then find a mentor and a role model. Let someone guide you, as he did for me, and that's why this show is in place. That's why the brand is in place. TheRealMonicaAdams.com is where you can find out everything that we do, and so much of that my father has his hand in. Everything, the emceeing, the auctioneering, the styling, of course. I mean, such a handsome man, but he also loved to dress well. And so the fashion side came from him. So I definitely wanted to blend what we did today with the ladies from the vault with my dedication to my father. To all of you, please heal the wounds from the past. If you are in a relationship with your parents or your kids right now, and there's tension between you, find a way to heal it. That's my biggest message to each and every one of you. I'll be looking at your comments. I will respond to those. And I'll also be telling you about something really special. 2 stories that we had to say. One was thank you for letting us hit 20,000 followers, because it was all because of you and our wonderful sponsors, Invita Health and Wellness, as well as Aldon Indoor Air Quality Specialist, Carroll House Furniture, Florida Direct Palm Trees, Kathy Kilo Peterson. We couldn't do it without all of you. KKilo.com. You want to talk about a class act, that woman. And we're going to team up together and do the Walk for the World. It's walkforthe.world. That's where you can register. Walkforthe.world. And I know she asked if Michelle would post that link over the next coming days so we can get people registered for that. We're going to be out in Chesterfield, and we're going to do this together on September 23rd at 9 o'clock in the morning. So Kathy is just the latest of many that are coming on board. And we've got some exciting ones to tell you about coming up in October. And one of them is Clayton Winehouse. That's where we're going to be doing an event. November 4th, it's an evening with the real Monica Adams. And I will always promise you that I will be real. I've got about a 15 to 20 minute motivational speaking engagement that I'll do with you. We have food from Trattoria Marsala, incredible Italian food. We will have wine and bourbon tastings. Then you can buy by the glass or the bottle, whatever you find that you love, being introduced to something new. We're going to have a live and a silent auction, and the proceeds, 100% of the auction proceeds, I'm going to give to Yuppie Puppies Forever Rescue. It's going to be a beautiful evening. And today, because you follow this show, you get a chance to purchase those tickets before anybody else finds out about it, because you watch this show. So we're going to drop that link for you. We'll let you, again, ask any questions that you want to know about that. But I want you to be there that night. I want to be able to interact with you, your friends, your family, your coworkers. Tell everybody about it. November 4th, 6 to 8 p.m. I know that it has been the save the date that you've had for a little while. But again, 6 to 8 p.m. on November 4th. So we'll have that link available to you, and I just can't wait to see you. George was just saying something in my ear. Say that again for me. Okay, so anyway, I just want to let you all know that that is what we're going to be doing. And then there's so much more. We want to bring the shows to your community. You want to tell us about people that you think belong on our show in the chair or as a sponsor, please reach out to me, info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com. And I'd also love to hear from you, just to let me know that since we launched this show in March, what has this show done for you? How has it changed your life? Because that's what I want moving forward. All right, if we have a couple more minutes, let me see here. I love this show. Thank you. Yes, you must register for the walk to get the link for the day of the walk and be able to listen to the meditation. It's a meditation walk, which is around the world. So it's walkforthe.world. You've got to put it in there. And it's kindness and walking for peace. So we're going to be walking with people all around the world, but our location is going to be in Chesterfield. So Sherry said, wow, what a great show. Thanks for sharing your emotional but powerful message. You're welcome. These are things I couldn't have done, by the way, in television. But I will forever show you every aspect of me, and that's what I ask for you to do as well. Just be real. People are looking for that in you, okay? Thank you all so very much. I greatly appreciate all of your kindness, and I'm just going to end it the way I always do. Go out and be whatever you want to be in the world. But first and foremost, the thing that I was taught as a little girl that I'm going to continue to teach you is to spread kindness. God bless you all. Invita Health and Wellness, where you can feel your best both inside and out. Invita isn't your typical med spa. They're a multi-specialty medical spa and wellness center serving St. Louis and its surrounding areas. They have ketamine for mental health and pain, IV therapy, medical weight loss, and aesthetics treatments. As board-certified anesthesia providers, Invita can ensure that their advanced treatments are provided safely with minimal to no pain. So let Invita take care of you. Call 314-394-0950 to book an appointment or online, InvitaHealthandWellness.com.